Hi, parents. My name is Stephanie Palechek, and I'm going to be teaching your son or daughter chemistry this year. And I would like to introduce my class to you a little bit and hopefully answer some questions in this video. So right here, you'll see that we have my Schoology page, and this is where students can access all of their materials, especially when students are absent. They can come to the material here and they'll be able to figure out what they missed in class. With the extended periods of absence that students have been having, this allows students to not get way too far behind from school. So if you look at this material in this class, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be covering matter and energy basically in this very first semester. So we'll cover what is matter, what's atomic structure, the periodic table, and what happens when matter absorbs energy. Next semester is when we'll talk about chemical reactions, and we'll talk about what happens when you modify that chemical reaction. How do you make sure the chemical reaction takes place? And then we'll look into some specifics. So we'll look into a little bit more of energy and chemical reactions. We'll look at acids and bases and water and solutions a little bit. So if you look at my Schoology page has the introductory reference materials, and if you clicked there, then you would be able to access the safety contract. I have some links like the periodic table online, a scientific calculator online, and a late work submission form. Also, right here, I have my syllabus for the class. The late work submission form, that's only if a student has turned in an assignment with a late homework pass. That's how I accept late work. So I don't accept late work, but I do take 3 late homework assignments for the semester. So if a student has not seen that it is graded and they've given me a late homework pass for that, they can go ahead and submit this form and I will make sure that it gets graded. Now, if you look at what we've done so far, I have broken up my class into different weeks. So I have week 1, week 2, 3, and 4. We just finished week 4, so I'm going to go ahead and look at week 4 with you. And you'll see that there is a calendar of what we covered each day. So we had Monday, Tuesday, block day, and Friday. And I post this by Monday night, by Monday afternoon. And so then students can see what is going on in class. So if they were to click on, say, Monday, say they were absent on Monday, and they clicked here, the very first thing that they're going to be able to see is they're going to be able to see the agenda of what we covered that day. So we started with a warm up and then we went through mass versus volume graphs, and I went through a presentation with them. So when they click on these hyperlinks right here, that will bring them to the presentation, the Google Slides that we went over during class that day. This way students aren't missing the material that is being covered in class because I've given them access to it if they're not at school. And then you'll see here that they had homework that night, and that's the density practice problems. Most night students are going to have homework, but I'm going to try to give them time in class to work on that. So if you see right here in class, begin homework worksheet. So the plan was for students to start that worksheet before they left so that they could ask any questions. Then right here is the link. If a kid was in class, most likely they got the handout and they'll turn in the handout the next day. If they were not in class, then this is how they would end up turning it in. So they would click here and they would access their assignment right here. Okay. And theirs would be up here, it would say my assignment, and that's how they would turn that in. So sometimes parents are wondering, there are a couple things parents are wondering. First, parents are wondering, how can they access me? The best way to access me is to email me at my Google account through the Santana website. And that's just the absolute best way for you to be able to contact me. And then also another thing is, how can students access material when they have been missing from class? And the best way for them to access the material is by looking at the calendar or also looking at the file for the day, for the given day. Finally, parents sometimes wonder, how can my child get extra help? I do tutorial on Wednesdays from 2 to 3 after school in my classroom at S2. And then I also do tutorial on Thursdays at lunch. And students can come in and ask for help. They can come in and do test corrections. I offer test corrections for any students who earned below a 70% on their test. So they can come in and they can make up some of those points up to 2 weeks after they have taken that test, and that can be done in class during tutorial time only, okay? Also, parents might wonder how the grade is going to be split up. The grade is going to be split up by 50% of their grade is going to be based on activities done in class or for homework. So that could be labs, that could be projects, that could also be any kind of homework that they're doing. Then the rest of their grade is going to be split up into tests, quizzes, and exams. For their quizzes, I drop their two lowest quiz scores. For their tests, I allow them to do makeup or test corrections, not makeup. If a student is absent, they will take the test as soon as they return to school. And the same thing with quizzes. So if you also would like to know another way students can get help, this right here is our CK12 textbook. It's online. They've been given this textbook and it's linked in their assignments. And here they can do any of their readings for the class. Sometimes I assign questions from these readings, and sometimes I assign little simulations from these readings. And it covers all of the material that we have covered so far. And this is the textbook that we use throughout the district. Another source that or resource that we use is our Explore Learning gizmos. So the Explore Learning gizmos, they would go into this site, and it is a lab simulation. So especially students who are absent from class, if they missed a wet lab, I might give them a lab simulation. And some students who are in class did one of these in class. So what they would do is they would click on Launch Gizmo. Every student has an account and has a login to link to my class. And then they move different objects or they change things based on, based on what the instructions give them. I give them a lab handout, and then they answer the lab handout based on what they move and manipulate in this lab. Okay, so this is the online lab simulation. We'll also use fet.colorado.edu lab simulations as well. Accessing textbook is right here. It's called CK12. And then finally, accessing material for classes right here. When parents want to look for updated grades, please see Infinite Campus for students' updated grades. A couple of policies I have in class. I expect students to be on time, so I will be marking tardies. If you notice that your son or daughter has been tardy to my class, please chat with them about timeliness and the importance of timeliness as I start class at the very beginning, as soon as the bell rings. And then also cell phones. If parents could talk to their students about cell phone use during class, I would really appreciate it. It has definitely been an issue. It's been an issue in all classes throughout campus. If you could please chat with your son or daughter about not using their cell phones during class unless they've been given permission, I'd really appreciate it. Parents, if you have any questions, please reach out and contact me via email, and I will get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you.